it seems like crazy having a haunted house here, but part of that is to make it happen. So that's what the city is backing us for, is because they want to bring that back.
It's been a wild few years for Blake and his team. After steadily growing their home haunt over years, the team was ready to open in a commercial location for the first time in 2020. Well, that didn't work out as planned. But now, their haunt is open and ready to scare. Deadwater State Penitentiary is now open weekends through October at Launch Point in Lake Elsinore, California. Coming up, owner Blake Bouchon on what to expect this year. From the Haunted Attraction Network, I'm Philip, and this is day 33 of our 61-day Hauntathon counting down to Halloween. Today is Sunday, October 3rd, and there are 28 days until Halloween. Support for this episode comes from Gantom Lighting and Controls. Gantom illuminates attractions worldwide with the world's smallest intelligent spotlights. Chat with Gantom's design team and sign up for a free demo at gantom.com/demo. The best way you can support us this Halloween season is by sharing our Hauntathon with someone you think will enjoy it. And to follow along to our Hauntathon, sign up for our weekly newsletter at hauntedattractionnetwork.com. And now, here's Blake to walk us through what to expect at this year's Deadwater State Penitentiary.
We are here at this resort. It's called Launch Point in Lake Elsinore. It's a brand new resort that they just put in a couple years back. A big push for the city right now is to bring back special events. As far as special events at this new location too, because they are here in this brand new resort. It's actually an RV park. So you could sit here and you could book out for the weekend or during the week with your RV coming as a big old campground. And actually the camping right now is completely sold out for the whole month of October for this event. You're going to come on in. It's basically a huge boat ramp too on the lake. So they got a huge parking lot here. You're going to come on in, park, you'll walk down the ramp, and then we're going to have the events going on as far as the food vendors out here serving up food. We'll have the queue line. This is the first year we've actually done a prison penitentiary theme. We wanted to go something out of the ordinary, something that you don't see all the time. And every night at 7 o'clock, we're going to have an opening ceremony, right? It's going to be our breakout scene is what we're calling it. So basically, the prisoners overthrow the guards, break out of the prison. But as far as once you actually get inside the prison, the customers coming in are the prisoners that are going to be booked. Everyone coming in is also the new prisoners that just committed a crime, or they're coming in to be part of the prison now. They're the prisoners. So basically, you come into the first room and we have our intake room. So they're going to line up against the wall. They're going to get their mug shot taken. And then they turn to the right. They get their side profile picture taken. So it gives them the scene and the illusion that they're already inside the prison. They're being booked right now for their sentence, is what we're telling them, right? Then they come into the processing. Basically, we're going to pat them down. This is where they would come into the prison. The guards take charge from this point on. You're prisoners now, so you listen to whatever the guards have to tell you. And that's basically where we go from there. And after that, they go into the housing department, and then all hell breaks loose from that point on, because they take the elevator down to the 15th floor basement, and they get into the housing department, and they continue on through all the different cell blocks from that point. It is a continuous walkthrough. It's about 15 to 20 minute walkthrough, completely start to finish once you enter. And that's not counting the scare zone kind of at the end, and then the line in the front too. So overall, 15 to 20 minute walkthrough is what we're planning on.
Okay, so 15, 20 minute walkthrough, being booked, and then things go terribly wrong once you get into the prison. If someone was driving, they could drive out there and they could get some food and they could go through the haunt and hang out a little bit afterwards.
It's not just the haunted house. We want to tie the whole experience. We got the food out here. We got vendors and stuff, the line and the opening ceremony. So if you're here at 7 o'clock for the opening ceremony, that's where it's really going to get you cool too.
So let's talk a little bit about your history in haunting. And I read that you started off as a home haunter, and then you've been doing this for quite a while before moving into the professional scene.
This will be my 10th year in the haunt industry. Started back in school. We did it as a little fundraiser for my school, and then I fell in love with it then. I took it on after that. And I'm like, you know what, this is fun. I'm going to start it on my own. And it did start out as a home haunt. We've been doing it for 6 years at a home haunt. And then I did it for 3 years in school, and this is the 10th year. We're going to the biggest scale now. So obviously professional event, city involvement. The city is backing us 100%. which is so awesome. They're wanting us to be here, and they're wanting it to be an annual
Mm-hmm.
event now at this location, which is very nice because we have somewhere we can call home for the next however many years. But they're already talking about it being an annual event, and the support with them and everything has been exceptional.
So 2015, when you had your larger home haunt that you were working on, and then in 2020, you didn't let the pandemic stop you either. You pivoted to do something in 2020, right?
2020 was a rough year for everybody, even us, but we still went with our next best option. We actually built the haunted house at a professional location in the city at this abandoned military school on the lake of
Yeah.
Lake Elsinore. So literally 2 miles from where we are right now.
The Lake Elsinore Naval Academy. Is that correct?
Exactly. So we built it at the Lake Elsinore Naval Academy, and we had the maze 90% done. All the walls, all the painting, everything was up and ready to go. We had to add some props and some lights, and we were opening. We called out for inspection, and everyone from Lake Elsinore was on board. They wanted it to happen. Yes, this is awesome. We want to bring the tourism back to Lake Elsinore. However, Riverside County stepped in and said, special events, not really a good idea right now. So we brought it back to the house for one final year, and a big learning curve. But the biggest thing about it was we had to take down the haunted house, move the haunted house, and then rebuild the haunted house. So that was a big stretch for us last year, but we still pulled it off, and we were able to have 3 weekends of the haunt still in October, which is unheard of. We took the haunted house down in 2 days and rebuilt the whole thing in 6 days, and then put the lights in and cameras and props, and we still opened up on time for a year that most people didn't have a haunted house for. And honestly, it was one of our biggest years yet, because with everything else being closed, we had people coming from all over the place.
It sounds also crazy too. You had to block off the cul-de-sac and get like outhouses and like kind of turn into a little like block party in the neighborhood. And you had like over 2,500 people that went through. Like that's a lot for you. Like you're like, we built this professional haunt. We're ready to go. You were building something to handle a lot of people. You got a lot of people, but you had to change to a location that was really not made for like that many people.
Exactly. So it was tough for sure doing it there. But like I said, we went with our next best option, which was that. And like you said, we had over 2,500 people at a home haunt. And technically the production that we were running was not a home haunt. It's a professional haunt at a home haunt.
Your company is All Hallows Eve Inc. And it seems like you're opening yourself up to the idea of being flexible, like you said earlier, with themes and with what kind of like the future holds. Yeah. What do you see for where you go from here?
We have no clue, honestly. We're starting from scratch. We're taking the biggest jump we've ever taken. So after this year is what we'll really take a step back and say, wow, we were able to pull this off. Now, what can we do to expand this? What can we build off this? Where we have talks and plans possibly in 2022, a second haunted house, possibly expanding into a more family-oriented too, and having a pumpkin patch on site. What's better than having 2 haunted houses at one location? So they're going to come in, they're going to park, they're going to do their thing, they're going to come down, pumpkin patch for the kids. So the moms, parents don't have to worry about it. Their teenage kids can go in the haunted house and have a fun time, but their 3 or 4 year old, 5-year-old can go in the pumpkin patch and ride all the little bouncers and stuff like that too, and make it more of a whole family event, more like a carnival kind of thing versus just one haunted house. So we are planning to expand on that, and who knows if that will be all next year. Maybe we 1 year at a time at a pumpkin patch. Next year we had a second haunted house, or if we take the whole thing and do them both. That's something that we were talking about as well.
It's so typical haunter to be like already planning like next year.
Exactly, yeah. The haunt industry for me and the company is a year-round thing. We basically work from November, all the way to November next year. So it's like part of Lake Elsinore being here is the motto and the logo that they have here in Lake Elsinore is Dream Extreme. So they really stick by that logo and that motto that they have as being Dream Extreme. Like people will have the wildest dreams, but what separates Lake Elsinore is different from other cities is because they want these things to happen. It seems like crazy having a haunted house here, but part of that is to make it happen. So that's what the city is backing us for. is because they want to bring that back and they want to keep their promise.
It seems like you guys also want to make it extreme too.
Exactly. So that's why working together with them has been the best thing for this year, and we're moving forward full steam ahead, and there's no stopping us and no limiting what we can do in the future.
Today's episode was produced by me, Philip Hernandez, with post-production by David Swope. Stay up to date this season with our free weekly newsletter. Sign up at hauntedattractionnetwork.com. We're counting down to Halloween with daily podcasts and our 61-day Hauntathon. Our Hauntathon is made possible through generous support from Gantom Lighting and Controls. We'll see you back here tomorrow and every day until Halloween.
This is a Haunted Attraction Network production.